Welcome to the Muddy Roots Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Vil. We got Gage, Robin, Ryan. Today we're just gonna kind of talk about some stuff and let's see where it leads us. So, first let's take a cup real quick, Gage. So, for those of you who are new to the podcast, what we do is we drink kava while we're doing this. It helps us to relax, to open up a little bit and become a little bit more honest while we talk about some of this stuff.
Definitely helps open up.
Yeah. Gives me depression.
You said what?
Huh?
Gives you depression?
No.
Hey, I know it's
I
kind of
hate this
late.
activity.
I know it's kind of late, but did you guys have any New Year's resolution? If you guys did, what are they? This is
Oh, that's me.
oh yeah, that's fine. This is Gage.
This is not a good example of how to pass.
Sorry, he's already drunk.
Yeah, sorry.
We're gonna cut
It's been
that
a long,
out.
it's
Is
been
that
a
one
long
mine?
night already.
That one's yours.
Okay. Anyways, New Year's resolutions. I got a new Apple Watch. My wife got me one for Christmas or for my birthday. Try to get more steps in this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah,
that
so
cup was Gage's.
No,
Huh?
I had Gage's cup.
Where's your cup?
I gave it to you. It was the first cup that you had.
So,
Oh, that's where the mix-up was.
usually Vil's on his game, man.
Rob passed
Watch,
the
we're
cup
gonna watch. We're
before
gonna
you.
rewatch this and see who fucked up.
Yeah, I'm excited to rewatch this. Can we rewind the tape?
Tastes like Robert's lips. Love that.
Butterbees, peppermint.
But no, yeah. So going back to your question about New Year's resolutions, I have a lot. I'm one of those weird guys though that has like hella goals. So like I have
Hella weird.
hella weird. So like I have resolutions in like my health life, my finance life, my business life, family life, and spiritual life. So I have like
Damn, did you do this like all December? You were just thinking of New Year's resolutions?
No, I
or-
did this in 2 days. So I just sat down and I do like kind of like meditating. So I'll meditate. I also like pray about it, whatever. Like that's just me personally. You can do whatever you want, but
Mhm.
I do that, and then that way, my mind I just ask to be opened, and then I meditate, and then I just run all of them. So yeah, I have like 25 or so.
Holy
resolutions.
Something
Damn.
light. Something light. 25.
Yeah,
Light.
just a little.
So yeah,
Damn.
so I did 5 in each. Some of them are basic though, just so that it's easy, so I can just conquer something easy off the list. You know what I'm saying?
What's
Some
one of
are
them? One of the easy ones.
One of the easy ones. So you guys know, I have like a car rental business through Turo, so we own a fleet of cars. One of them was just for my business side was to just get those cars to a company in Vegas,
Yeah.
and they manage the whole thing for us.
Damn, this little ad drop. You just
Yeah,
Throwing out
so
your
hey,
business.
so check out my Turo business.
Oh, he's slick with it. Okay.
No, yeah, it's actually not even under my name anymore. Like the people who own we own the car and get the checks, but they manage it all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hands
So
free.
even if people went to that company, they wouldn't even know if it was my car or someone else's, because I think they own or they manage like a few hundred cars, and they're in Vegas, New York, Idaho, Chicago,
Is that why you
Few
sent all
places.
your cars out to?
Vegas.
Vegas?
Yeah, because then if they're not doing good out there, they'll actually ship them to somewhere else, so they think they'll do good. So like, if I sent my truck down, they'd actually send it to Idaho, and not leave it
Wow.
in Vegas because they do better.
Damn.
Yeah, so that's been nice. So yeah, just little ones like that help me just feel like, oh, got one done,
Mhm.
and then the other ones are like more in depth.
Yeah, 25 is a crazy number, but I feel like depending on if you're motivated, you can hit it. Because I thought I had a lot. I only have 3.
I just have one.
Just one.
One that I like want to keep on, and it's just like stick with the gym till the end of the year.
Yeah, that's mine.
And then if I do it, then that'll be the same one for next year. Just keep going till it's done.
Yeah, because mine was the same thing. Stick with the gym, and then I had be down to 250 by June. I'm already at 280. And
Damn.
I started in
It's
midway.
Cabo weight.
Yeah, I know. No, deadass, it's water weight.
Yeah.
'Cause I started midway in December, and I was at 305.
Shit.
And I weighed myself the other day. I was 280. And then the other one is to be financially stable.
Hmm.
Those are my
Always
only
a
3.
good
That's
goal.
good.
Yep.
Yep.
Because all this freaking like paycheck to paycheck, that shit sucks.
It does.
just because like every time I got paid, it was just like it was on a Friday. So you think about it, Friday you mix, Saturday you mix.
No,
You
you
mix.
mix. Yeah, hey, don't.
He's just saying weed. Let's
Yeah.
just throw out weed. Let's make it
cut that
It's like, y'all know how it goes. Friday, you mix. Nah.
You know, so Monday you mix, Tuesday you mix, Wednesday, and then you mix at work. No, but Friday, Saturday mix, and then Sunday I don't do anything, so I'm door dashing. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, me, Junie, and Misi were pitching in for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I just need to get to.
Door dashing is a scam. You lose so much money on
Yeah,
it.
you do.
You do.
I had to delete the app, but then I keep re-downloading it whenever I'm hungry.
Bro, what's
always on my
dumb is
phone.
you'll delete the app and then you'll still get those reminder like, hey, you haven't used the app in so long. Here's a 15% coupon, and you're like, all right, man, whatever.
Yeah,
I'll download it again.
Well, the worst is like when, especially when like we have kids, so we'll put them to sleep and we're sitting in bed watching a movie. I'm like, frick, dude, some food sounds that look good. So we'll hop on the app, DoorDash shit, and then I'll run out and just go pick it up. Like,
yeah.
that is-
DoorDash is better than Uber Eats, though. I'll never download Uber Eats.
I've never used it.
I think I've used Uber Eats once.
Postmates too. I don't care.
Postmates is good. I
Yeah,
think
I've
Uber
never
Eats
used
is
Postmates.
a little bit more expensive. At least that's how it was in Arizona when I used it.
Oh, really?
It's just all expensive now, especially
Yeah.
because I live out by the airport. So
That's true.
it's expensive to get it out there.
That cafe out there is hella good, though.
It is pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah,
Their
By
pizza.
you?
yeah. They put a new
Oh.
food spot out there.
Oh, really?
Oh.
It's called the Sidecar Cafe. It's pretty good. They got a
Pretty
coffee
good.
shop out there too.
Mhm.
Once that place starts growing, dude, it'll be nice. Supposedly they're supposed to put a Maverick out there. I know Maverick owns a lot of land. So
Yeah,
hopefully
Maverick's
they-
going up by where we're at. That
Is that
Chevron?
going to be a Oh, okay.
Yeah, that Chevron. There's gonna be that Chevron and then that Maverick, or that,
Hmm.
or that Minute Maid or whatever.
Minute
Chevron.
Maid.
Yeah, the Chevron used to be in that corner
Yeah.
where that Maverick's at.
But
We thought about building out by you, except for on the other side of the highway, freeway, whatever.
like closer to this side or
Yeah, so just up the street.
huh?
But yeah, it's like you go out there, you have to gas up. You drive all the way out there, you waste a quarter tank by the way you get out there. And I'm like, dude, this sucks.
Yeah,
And depending on what you drive, if you're driving a truck, that's even more money.
yeah. It's
Gas
stupid of me
goes
to buy a truck. I swear it. Freaking, we move farther. I buy a truck. The gas prices go higher, and I'm like, all right.
Because for the longest time, like getting a truck was the coolest thing, and then now everybody
I
has
still
a truck,
think it is.
it
I,
is so
yeah.
cool still.
and then
Yeah.
now getting a truck and then just
That's just
Paying
because
so
your
much for-
truck is.
is mate already.
I love like having a truck, but I hate driving it like it's like my car to just
Yeah.
drive around town. I'm like, I just drive my truck around, act like gas is free. Like
Yeah.
I don't like that, but I do love having a truck.
I wish I had one. Tired of driving these sedans.
I'll never go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
never.
Oh,
No,
really?
Ever. No. Cece can have whatever car she wants that's gas friendly, but I personally I won't have one for my personal car. I won't
Mhm.
go back to something small.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't always have a truck. I like Broncos. I like bigger cars. Hummer.
Broncos are
Would you do
Hummers
like a
are-
Tahoe
popular
or
now.
something like that, or no?
like a Tahoe?
Or Escalade?
Like an Escalade? Yeah, I'd do one of those, I guess.
Could
but
you
that's-
guys drive minivans?
Could I
No,
drive 'em?
I wouldn't.
Bro, have you seen minivans now? They got
They're-
some sick minivans
They're
now.
insane.
Really?
But you still-
Yeah.
I don't like them. I think
Nah.
you still feel weird as heck.
It's very much it looks weird and
Yeah.
you feel a little girly driving it, but back from when because we've had like 3 minivans growing up and those
Same
were
with us.
all old and ghetto.
Mhm.
The ones that they got now, they're like rocket ships, man. They're nice. Moon roofs, freaking doors that slide all the way the whole window of
Moon?
that side. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, the
they
side
got,
windows that go
yeah,
down.
they got
Yeah,
all
dude.
kinds of stuff now. They're nice.
They even will have like, so you know that third row in the very back, if you have like a lot of kids in like car seats and stuff, they actually will lay down backwards so you can put the car seat in and then fold the thing back up just from the trunk. So you don't have to try to like go in from the side
I
or
see.
and, like,
Getting
get 'em all the way
technical,
back.
but still, even all
Oh.
those features, I still wouldn't even.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That
Minivans
feature
are actually
specifically.
insane.
But the Sprinter vans, me and Raymond were driving. We were on.
Sprinter van's different though. I would
Yeah, I
drive
know.
What's a
van.
Sprinter van?
Like a 12 or 15
It's like
passenger
Corey's
van.
van.
Like
Those
a
are-
big
Oh, I
would
like
buy-
those.
So,
I like those.
me and Raymond were driving on the street, and the Sprinter van like cut me off, and I looked up, and they were watching big ass TV inside the van, and I tried to pull up closer, and I was just me and Raymond was just watching.
No, yeah, dude. I think that would be like my favorite car to own.
Is it
If I had a 15 passenger one, like a big one, and deck it out, like maybe pull out one row to scoot out. This is like way custom, but then so everyone has way more leg room. You could put a TV in. Like Sprinter vans, the like possibilities you have so many.
Yeah, I've
Like,
seen
endless.
these. I've seen these when they renovate it on TikTok
Yeah,
into like their own like personal like house or whatever, and
Yep.
they just drive around basically an RV.
yep. Well,
That's
even Corey, his Sprinter van, he has the capacity to sleep 3. So in the back of that, there's beds that lay down. He can put 3 motorcycles in there, and he can drive 3. So he built that van so that him and 2 buddies could just travel, pitch up anywhere, just sleep in the van
That's tight.
and drive.
That's pretty tight.
I think Sprinter vans are dope. Like actually.
Yeah, I'd get one for sure.
But the minivans, bro, I feel like when I'm driving it, because when I usually drive, like, I just leave one hand, like, down here, and I'm kind of, like, kicked back, you know, just, like, chilling. When I'm driving a minivan, I feel like I almost have to, like, posture up, and, like, I just feel weird as heck.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like I got to sit, like, I don't know, like a... In
Like
Utah, we could call it, like, a Mormon dad. Like, I feel like I got to sit on, like
It's
look
kind
all...
of like with when that movie Fast and Furious, when Paul Walker had to drop off his kid, and he's driving the Sprinter van, and
Yeah.
he's so used to like revving it, and then he revs it, breaks it, and then the camera zooms out. It's a minivan, and the kid just walks out, and he goes, "I cannot do this."
Yeah. You feel like you're like a dad, like a real dad at that point. So yeah, I do not like the minivans at all.
Yeah.
What's
I
your
agree.
guys' like dream car or truck? Like, what would you like if you could choose? And let's say even your top 3, because let's say you don't want to just have one car they drive every day. Like, what's like your top 3 that you'd do?
Top of my list, right off the top of my head, is a 1967 Ford Mustang.
Holy.
Oh, you
I've al-
specific.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know what car I want. Those things are crazy. Have you guys ever seen Power? You know Tommy's blue
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I think that's a 68 or 69, but it's close to that one. But 67 is my dad's birth year, so
Mm.
it's a crazy looking car, and I like it a lot.
You're an old school guy. What else? Anything else?
After that, I mean, I'd love to have like a Ford Raptor, or a 2022 Bronco. I like those. Those look really
The Broncos, the new Broncos are cool.
I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of Broncos on the streets lately.
Cool. Yeah,
Dude, they were all back ordered too.
that's why I
Oh,
was
really?
gonna say.
I know a buddy of ours. He ordered a 2022, and yeah, dude, it took it like 18 months or something.
Yeah.
Crazy to get here. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were giving him like free, like weird little, like
Trinkets
a
and-
calendar or
yeah.
something, just to be like, hey, we haven't forgot about you. Like we appreciate you. It's just taking forever.
But I do feel like because they were back ordered and then they got caught up with production and everything, that they all just hit the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Everybody
say
be
because like in
mobbing
the
them.
last year, I've seen more Broncos than I've ever since I worked with my apprentice when I was at my last job. He was just talking about how he loves Broncos. Ever since then, I just seen Broncos just left and right. I mean,
they're
it's a nice looking car.
They are nice.
I actually like the old school ones more than
The
new
90 ones,
Yeah.
1990s.
I had a-
those are cool.
I had a buddy. He was a few years younger than me, but we played football together, and he had a red one. That shit was bad. Like
Really?
I actually thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So I do like those school ones. But what about you, Rob? What's your, like, top 3
Ford
cars?
Raptor is my number one, and then any old school Barracudas. Have you seen the Barracudas?
I'm not big into
Sure,
cars,
I
so I have
They were
no
kind
idea.
of they kind of look like the Mustangs, but
Okay. I'm
th-
gonna look it
I
up.
think Vin Diesel used one of them in one of his movies.
Barracuda?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Let
you
me
have to
look.
show me
I'm
that
pulling it
picture
up.
when
Pulling
you
it
do.
up.
Let me see.
Yeah. So just like these old
Yeah.
school ones.
Those are freaking bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never even seen those.
What does the back look like? Is it like an open trunk?
Dude, no,
Mm.
those are not gonna lie. Those are like the ugliest cars
I
I've
hate
seen, bro.
Oh, that's straight Atlanta cars, dude. For
Wait, the
real.
open trunk ones?
Yeah.
Shout
You
out to all
dogging
the
on
birds.
Yeah.
No, that's not a Barracuda. Though. Barracudas
Oh.
don't have the trunk. The ones with the trunk, I can't. There's another one
don't
because
think
I had
I've ever
another
seen
buddy
that.
in high school who used to
I
drive one.
hate
Yeah.
those
I was like,
cars.
bruh, that trunk's not even big enough to like fit one person in there, bro. Like it's weird.
Damn.
Jeez.
Anyway, Go ahead with your list. So you said Barracuda and what?
Barracuda, Raptor, and
Sprinter van.
Sprinter van.
No,
honestly.
low key. Sprinter
Yeah.
van's on my
Sprinter
list.
van.
bro.
Oh my
good.
gosh, you guys
Yeah.
are just killing me.
What
Yeah.
about you?
I just want my kids to freaking watch TV.
Dude, okay, so when I was growing
Watch
up,
at home.
That's why I have a house.
I'm not gonna pay cable for that shit though.
well, so like growing up and in Utah, I mean, we do a lot of like day dates for like our school dances and stuff, you know. I thought it would have been dope to own like a Sprinter van, pile all of you guys in and go. Cause like where I grew up in a little town, we always traveled for our day dates. We'd go to Salt Lake or something.
Mhm.
Cause staying in Roosevelt, where I grew up, like, bro, you just ride four wheelers.
How far was that
Which
drive?
was fun. We did that a lot too. The drive was like 2 hours.
Mhm.
So,
Damn.
I mean, my mom had an Escalade, so we take that. But I could just imagine having like a 12-person thing because your groups usually aren't bigger than that, and just all piling in.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's your list?
I don't care as long as the car can drive me where I need to go. That's all that matters.
What
You
a
don't even
responsible
think, huh?
answer.
Yeah.
You sound so cool.
No,
I
I
think I
actually
changed my answer.
like when you're showing me that Barracuda, I don't see what's so cool about it.
It
You
just
don't
looks
you don't
so
see cars on the
nice.
street like, dang, that's a
Right.
That's
nice.
a badass
I do
car.
that when I'm around guys. I'd be like, "Oh damn!" and then everyone will have the same reaction. I'm like, "Okay, cool, I'm fitting in." and then it'll just drive by, and I'm like, "Dude, fuck that car."
You just
That's
walk to
hella
your car,
funny.
man. What the fuck, these guys?
Look at that. Look, show Ryan that.
What's this?
That's the 1967 Ford Mustang.
Yeah, that is hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
It just looks like a part of me. I'm
For
hard.
real? This is oh man, that's
No, that's sexy, bro. But
Hey.
whoa, wait, hey.
Yeah, I've never gotten the interest.
I kind of want to see what the.
Oh,
I'm
cars,
not a
like,
big
I don't
car
know.
person. My wife is my
Mhm.
CC. My wife my wife's a big car person. She loves cars. She'll get into it and
Mhm.
has plans to soup up her rides and
Yeah.
everything. It's just I'm not like that, but I can appreciate a nice car. I like
Yeah.
I like what I like.
I
If I
don't.
see it. Yeah, I used to love Corvettes, but yeah, kind of played
Yeah,
out.
that's how Lexi is. My wife, she's like that too. When we were doing the whole Turo thing and like shopping out cars, she's throwing out all these things. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't know. I know a truck, a car.
Oh,
I
this
didn't even
is
know
a
like
six-cylinder.
I didn't even know like a car and a sedan was different. Like I was like
I don't. I'm not a big like. I don't like looking at cars and being like, "Oh, that's cool." But the accessories inside the car, that's what I look at. Like the moonroof. I'm like, "Oh, that's tight."
I get that.
Like you know,
moonroof.
Are you
and
guys into,
being
like,
able
the
to connect
big
to
iPad
Bluetooth?
on the thing. Yeah, yeah. That's what I think.
Are
is
you guys
cool.
into like subs and stuff like that or no?
Heck
Oh hell
yeah.
yeah!
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But
Or like lights inside the car, like like floor lights and
Dog,
stuff
I've
like
never
that.
really
or
cared
no?
for that.
I don't really care for
I would
those.
do it though. I haven't before, but they do look nice if you
Yeah.
get them done right and you get them done not cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can look good.
So it's kind of weird. I kind of set myself up because
because my car.
Because back in the day, no, but yeah, I had a car and it had the lights, the under thing lights.
That's weird how this happened.
I can't believe we're here, but we're here. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little story.
Describing his high school car. You like this? You like this? Well, guess what I was driving?
No, it was the ugliest Pontiac ever. But I put 212s in the back in the trunk, and then I put under lights by your feet, and it would go with the subs. So it was actually pretty dope. But it was the ugliest car, like the ugliest car. But we would always back my car up to like if we were doing like bonfires and stuff like that, because it would bump. And I got like all new. I was really big into like sound systems and stuff like that.
Oh, so
Yeah,
when there,
Like new Twitters.
well, so
and
you
all
were the guy. Whenever there was bonfire, you would always be there,
that. Yeah.
just
I
to
would,
back up your truck and just play some
No,
music.
back up my Pontiac.
Or your
My ugly,
Pontiac.
my ugly Pontiac. Like I think my subs ruined my car though. Like because it was an older car, and when I was bumping it, I really think it like rattled some stuff loose,
Mm.
Damn.
low key. But anyway, let's take a cut for that, huh?
Wait, did you even say your cars?
No, I did not.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me hear it.
Do it for the
It's
rest
my
of this.
turn. It's my turn. So no, yeah. So my 3 cars that I would choose, I'd probably say first, I want a big truck. Like so, my dad has an F550, and I love it. Like
550?
550. I don't like a super big
What does
lift
that?
on it.
What does that do?
So
That being a
five-
550.
so-
So 150 to 550. There's
Yeah. So
Those are
150 is a
Ford
half ton, 250 3/4 ton.
So I was just wondering why Robert was like 550.
because it's
Well,
just
I've
a
never
big
heard,
truck.
yeah, I've
just,
never heard of 550.
just
Oh.
just
I've heard
better
of
towing
150 and
capacity.
250s. That's it.
Yeah. So my little brother, his GMC Acadia, I think. I can't remember what car it was, but it was like a SUV, broke down in Roosevelt, where I'm from, 5 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
My dad towed it, like put it on a trailer and pulled it, and he was able to drive like like I'm gonna get your cup in a minute, but let me finish my story. I hate doing it. I don't like looking back at it.
Suddenly looking back at it.
But no, I don't. He pulled that SUV like it was like nothing. Like he was able to still go like 100 if he wanted. So just the towing capacity is way
Jeez.
higher with the 550 versus a 150 or whatever.
When you take a 550 and you're hauling something, do you look back at it?
I use my mirrors to look back at it. Okay? But no, so definitely a big truck.
Search up a 550.
And then big truck. I like the Audi, so I do like sports cars. I like fast cars.
Yeah.
I mean, if money was endless, I probably would get like a Bugatti. But more realistically, probably just an Audi. And then honestly, a Sprinter van, like a 15 or 12 or 15 passenger.
Damn.
So that way I could travel.
Yeah.
That's a bus right
I don't
there.
know much about like rich cars, so like a Bugatti. Oh wait, no, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Which one starts with an M?
Maserati.
Maserati. I heard Maseratis are super overrated. Like it's almost like a Mazda.
I can see it.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know much about like a fancier car.
I don't know. I think the Bugatti's the fastest though, right? I think over Ferrari, I think it's faster.
Really? I don't know.
Like the fastest like street legal car, I think. I don't know though. That could be completely bullcrap. I mean, you could fact check it.
I'm gonna fact check it.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I was just kidding.
You can fact check it. Wait, really?
You didn't have to call my bluff, bro. So which one's the fastest
Oh.
one?
You said Bugatti?
Yeah.
Wrong.
The nicest guy I ever met.
Something called a Gamera.
Ooh.
Okay, that's an ugly car. Go to sports cars. A Gumera.
Oh.
A Gucci. A
You're
Gucci
wrong.
Mera.
It's a Gamera. You can't even catch it on your camera so fast. You like that one? You okay? You like that one?
I heard a little wheezing
I
in
know.
there.
No, because me and Missy was having this conversation when we were growing up. All these fob jokes never hit, and then as soon as we're older now, these fob jokes are just fucking stupid. They're so funny.
Well, no, I even saw like Ruben posted on his Snapchat a video of like when your parents used to play the old school jams. And
Yeah.
he was like, man. And now I catch myself playing those same songs downstairs and singing them and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's true. I love Polynesian music
Yeah,
now.
that's
But
why I
like
was
growing up,
cracking
I was
up.
always like, Dad, come on, bro. Put on some rap or something. Like, just wanted to be a cool guy.
Yeah, Bugatti's the 5th fastest.
Okay.
The first one's the Ultimate Arrow. I don't know what that one is.
Oh.
That's
But a
a gay
McLaren.
car.
A McLaren's faster than a
Really?
Bugatti. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
McLaren's 3rd.
Hmm.
McLaren F1.
What does isn't the McLaren like more of a classical like look or no?
More like a polished look.
Oh, that's a good word for you, Rob.
Thanks. I sell a lot of tiles that's polished.
I don't even know. Let's see, a McLaren. It looks like this. Nope, never mind. It looks pretty fast.
Let me see.
It looks pretty fast.
I was thinking of the
Well, I'm thinking like a-
Rolls Royce. That's what I was
Yeah.
Oh,
thinking.
yeah.
of.
They're
bigger build?
boxy.
Yeah,
What,
yeah.
what car is that?
That's a McLaren. We were just
Oh.
talking about it.
McLaren.
Yeah.
What about
That's
the
Funny roots,
Arrow?
We don't know shit
The
about
Arrow one.
cars.
Yeah, what was the Arrow one?
Yeah, we're gonna
Ultimate
cut all
Arrow.
this out.
Arrow AERO.
Ultimate?
Ultimate Arrow.
Yeah, it's the stuff that the Green Arrow shoots.
I'm just gonna.
Shot collar.
Oh.
SSC Ultimate Arrow.
Okay, yeah, it looks like a pretty cool car.
Let me see.
See,
They all
but-
kind of look the same
They
to me.
all
though.
look the
exactly.
same.
When you start to get to this fancy, I'm like Ryan. It's like, oh, nice car.
Yeah.
But I have builds and like cars that I do like from certain dates. It's just not.
Yeah, see, like
once it
seeing
gets
all
to-
those cars, they all just look like Lambos to me.
I'll
Yeah, he
finish
just
with
said
my
that.
sentence.
Sorry. You guys see the whole thing with Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
How do you guys?
Explain to me.
Was
'cause
it John
I
Morant's
know
dad?
nothing.
No, I thought it was him with John Morant. I thought John
No,
Morant's
so
dad
he was going
made
at
it
he was
better.
him and his dad was going at it too, because it started off with somebody else, and then John Morant came in and said something, and so he went off on John Morant, and then I think Steven Adams.
Steven
Yeah,
Adams
Steven
got into
Adams.
I didn't know
the
he was
mix.
on the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he got into it
Uso.
with freaking what's his name, with
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp, and then the dad came in, and that's when the whole thing just blew out of proportion.
Wait, so what happened? Did they like throw hands, or was it just an argument, or what?
It was an argument. I forget what it was.
On the court or where?
On the court,
Yeah.
yeah. They were saying,
I did not see this.
I don't know what the dude said to Shannon, but Shannon was saying you can't guard LeBron,
Yeah.
like things like that, like you can't guard LeBron. What else did he say? He said something like, "That's why you'll never be the greatest," or something. I don't know, something like that. And then they just went back and forth, and then John Morant's like, "Oh, you just sit your ass down and sit your old ass down," like something like that.
To
It's
Shannon?
true though.
To Shannon,
It's true.
I didn't know this nigga was big. I didn't know how big he was.
Are you
What?
serious? He
Yeah.
used to play linebacker, right? Or
Yep.
something for the NFL.
I thought he
Yeah,
was safe.
I'm pretty sure linebacker.
Linebacker.
He's a thick boy. I don't know what position he
Wait,
played.
Loki? I think it might have been D-line. Let me fact check.
Oh, I
Go
thought
ahead,
it was.
Go ahead.
Wait, who's the?
That's fine. I'm open to that.
Shannon. What's his last name again?
Who was
Sharp.
the
I'll figure it out.
the receiver?
Fact check.
Don't
please.
tell
Figure it
him.
out.
We're actually hella stupid. He was a tight end.
Oh yeah, still.
Still a big dude.
Yeah.
Still a big dude. No,
But
yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know. Like that's overly big for a tight end.
He's
Nah.
6'2".
For real?
I mean, he's
Well, now,
out of the league. Probably
Yeah.
put on some mass.
but I didn't know how like big he was. I knew how he was on the Broncos and on the Saints. How like he wasn't really that big. And then like looking at him now, this dude was like I saw a video of him benching 450 like 6 times
Jeez.
with restraints on his elbows. That is massive.
You know
Yeah.
what was said or what the issue was? It was just about LeBron.
I think it was.
Who was it directed to initially?
You said it was towards
was-
John Morant.
No, it was towards one of the players, and then John Morant came in and said, "Sit your old ass down."
Which he should have. Like.
Exactly. And then after that, Steven Adams came running in, and then I don't know what he said to Steven, and then John Morant's dad came in. and
It's
then
so
that's where
weird
the whole
that
thing just
he
went
like
back and
made
forth.
a huge deal about it on court. Like you're a professional athlete, you should know. Like, you know, like it's
To do it somewhere else, not in the
yeah,
like center.
yeah. Because he was like walking on court, yelling at them, and then Steven Adams came in, and they were like arguing for a little bit. But
Yeah, because when I
you
seen
think
him,
you'd know.
when I seen him, someone came and just hit that fadeaway 3, and I seen Shannon Sharp just get up and point at the line like he was out of bounds, and then they zoomed up on him, and he was wearing this tight, like really tight white shirt, and then
Yeah.
that little jacket over. That's when I looked at him and I was like, dude, this thing is actually really big.
Wait, this is during the game?
During the game.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, that's how I say he was
I thought it was after the game.
No.
hella
Yeah,
out of
this
pocket
is-
for him to do
And
that.
there was at least like 10, 12 securities on the ground trying to break him up. And it was him and the dad. And then the next thing I saw was him and the dad just made up.
What the heck?
It was all over Twitter.
I don't have.
Oh, you don't
Twitter.
have Twitter.
Actually, no. I just downloaded it. I'm gonna hop back on, get connected with the world again. See, that's why I can have 25 goals because I don't care about what's happening out there. But no, that's crazy. I can't believe you actually did that. Like you said, during the game,
Yeah,
in the center of attention. Like that's crazy, especially as a professional athlete. Like when you're on the field, you don't want to have any outside distractions
yeah.
like that. Like,
You should know better
it
like,
makes
to do
no
that.
sense.
But
Even to like humiliate someone to the point if that's right, like to say like you'll never be as good as LeBron. If that's what he said, could you imagine someone saying like, "Oh, you're never gonna be as good as," and name somebody that's like one of the best NFL tight ends, and he's like, "Oh, okay," like that's messed up.
I guess they're both wrong on both ends. You know, I don't know. It's weird.
To me, though, I think Ja did a good job. If I don't know the whole situation, but if one of your teammates is getting like blasted
Yeah.
like that, I think it's your job to like step in.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think he. I don't know. I just don't know the whole story.
I just know how like Shannon is. Like if he he's kind of like some people that we know. Like if you argue your point, they argue their point, and then they get loud and they try to like convince you that their point is right.
Like the
That's-
louder they get, the
the
more
louder-
right they
yep.
are.
Yeah.
That's how he is. Like just watching,
You sound like you guys grew up together.
dude. We're like
Well-
best friends. He was tight end. I was DN.
I know how Shannon is, you know.
I know how Mr. Sharp is. No, but no, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, what's that other dude? Who
Skip
does-
Bayless.
Skip.
Yeah, him
Yeah.
and Skip going back at
Yeah.
or
They
back
just,
and forth.
it's like instead of arguing like facts, they just like yell louder, and it's like, oh, he's more credible now because he just yelled. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's how he is.
But I don't know. I don't have no idea about that basketball situation. That's just crazy.
Speaking of the NBA, though, did you guys ever hear of? I don't know how to say his name, but Anis Freedom.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
insane.
What happened?
Go ahead.
You can go.
Oh,
Oh,
So
you
so
No, you go.
what is it? Is it Turkey? The Turkey
Turkish
government?
government.
Yeah, they have a bounty on his head.
yep.
And I forget how much it is, but it's because he was like talking shit on Turkey.
So-
That's where he's from.
a
No, he's from
bounty, like a legit
Switzerland.
bounty. Like
He's not from Turkey.
I thought he was from Turkey.
He's from Switzerland.
Oh.
So the Turkish government put a bounty on his head because he has been outright disrespecting the Turkish government, being from the NBA, and he's in the NBA last year. Played for the Celtics in 2022. He averaged like 11.2 points and like 7 rebounds.
his name is what again?
Anis Cantor Freedom.
yeah.
and-
That sounds.
He,
So-
he changed his last name to Freedom because
Right.
of that.
Oh,
this
so it
whole
was Ines
situation.
Cancer.
It was
Right.
Cancer.
Okay, yeah, I know who that is. I didn't know he changed his last name.
Right, but he has a bounty on his head. He's on the most wanted list for the
Yeah.
Turkish government. I saw some articles that said $500,000, 10
Yeah.
million.
Yeah, I heard it was in the millions.
It's not.
No?
So it's 26,600 US dollars, which is 500,000 Turkish. I think it's called like ilans or something like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that. Liras. Yeah, it's called liras. But yeah, he has a bounty on his head right now because of that, and he's been speaking out against human rights issues that he feels like the Turkish government is having with their country. He's also wore shoes that said no Beijing or free Tibet from China.
I have seen
stuff
those.
like that. Yeah, so he feels like he's been also blackballed by the NBA and says that he's not scared to speak his mind. And
Oh, so that's why he changed his last name to Freedom.
obviously, yeah, it's like he's trying to speak out and he's trying to just kind of,
So in this article it talks about it.
Yeah.
And so he has no regrets. He said his quote is, "I'm trying to be the voice of all these innocent people out there who don't have a voice, so it is worth
Respect.
So that's
Yes.
why he is bounty.
it. It might cost me my career, my family, and everything I have, but I know in the end I am doing God's work, so yes, it is worth it, and I have no regrets." That's what he says.
Right.
And,
Good for
and yeah,
him.
actually it does say Freedom Said. So he did like
yep,
legally change his name. I don't know how he did it, but no, that's actually pretty dope.
yeah,
So
it's
yeah, they're
crazy.
really
That is
wanting
tight.
him.
But it does say the article that I was reading that so it says that he's on the most wanted. Well, the Turkish Interior Ministry has a color coded system, and they call it he's on the gray list, which is
Oh.
the lowest. So it's not like he's at the top of that list.
Yeah.
But still, I mean,
Yeah,
got a
the
bounty
fact that
on
he's
his
on
head.
the
Yeah.
list,
He's
yeah.
got a
But
bounty on his
So
head.
what? Can they send agents to come grab him, or is it?
I
Only
think
if
it's once he
over
steps
there?
foot on Turkish land.
So if he just never goes back, he's straight.
I would think he's touchable anywhere outside the U.S.
Right, because
'Cause
you
he's-
have to be. Yeah, you have to be like that to be on the bounty list.
Right. And another reason why I say that is because so when he found out about this, he was at the Vatican. And
oh.
yeah, he was at the Vatican and he was reached out to by the FBI saying you need to come back home to the US. And he's been a
my
US
gosh.
citizen for a couple years now.
Yeah.
Lives
yeah.
in Washington DC.
So his bounty is it like wanted alive, dead?
Why,
Dead
are you
or
trying to cash it in?
alive? Man, $10 million. That's a lot of money.
So I think it just said like,
Hey,
yeah,
Freedom, you want to be a guest star on our
I
podcast?
did see one article that said it was his arrest.
yeah, just his.
Oh, just his arrest?
Yeah.
Yeah, so carry cuffs on you.
And then carry
I'll
his
just have
big
Mussy
ace
come
with you.
in. I'll have Mussy hide behind that curtain.
But no, that's actually insane though.
Yeah.
It's actually cool though,
crazy.
because you say that the FBI like tipped him and was like, "Hey, you need to come back." That means at least it sounds like to me that our U.S. government is like on his side.
Yeah, trying to
So
protect them.
that's cool because I mean we've heard a lot about like, what is that called, like muting people or whatever, so that people don't have the total free speech, and he's
Yeah.
out doing free speech, and they're helping him support that. That's cool.
He does say that the NBA blackballed him though because of his choices to speak out on a lot of things.
What kind of stuff?
So he spoke out directly about China and their whole debacle that is going on with Tibet, and he said no, Beijing 22, put it on a pair of shoes. And the year that he did that in 2022 with the Celtics was his last year, so no one picked him up.
That kind of stuff is weird to me. I mean, I don't want to get into like the agenda kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, because whether it's true or not true, I don't really care if you believe that or not. But it is weird when they like mute people like that, or like, hey, dude, you're kind of stepping out of line. Like, to me personally, I feel like free speech is supposed to be free speech.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I got a quote here from him. He said, "It's crazy that communist China can affect my job here in the States as an NBA player."
Yeah.
So him speaking out against that.
It's true.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Especially because to make it to the NBA, you know, he put in a lot of work. Like, he didn't just get up there. And then now he's up there. He's not a name that I even really remember, so he's probably not like the greatest guy, like greatest basketball player, but he still made it. So he put in a lot
I only
of work.
remember
and
him because he played for OKC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
then-
gonna
I do
say.
remember that.
Played for a lot of teams: OKC, Jazz, Trailblazers, Celtics.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that sucks that he's having to give it up, potentially give it up, so that he can speak his mind. Like, that to me is not cool.
It just puts in perspective like how we live here. We can say what we
Right.
want. We can do this. We can do a podcast and
Yep.
just talk about whatever we want. But other places, man, that's
Not
not
okay.
at
Yeah,
all.
that freedom of speech is just out the window. It's just freedom of speech
Right.
to a certain content
And I can't imagine
Extent.
extent.
what he. Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine what?
Go ahead, hurry, talk.
Well, content too.
Yeah. and I don't know what I was gonna say. That's just
Yeah, no, Ryan.
You just took
had
the
to correct
content
me.
right out of his mind.
you know.
But
Certain content.
I almost said consent. I was like,
Consent?
that's why I'm looking at you. He goes, extent, yeah, extent.
no, it's weird though, because we've seen a lot of people that have like tried to do their own thing or whatever, and then they end up going off the rails. Even like podcast people, like there's guys that if you say something on a podcast, and we're not going to say those things, but
Say it.
well,
Can you give me an example?
actually, like I'm not opposed to saying those kind of things, but in the starting phase, it's kind of not the greatest time. I feel like we need to be a little bit more established, but like
I think we should just be risky.
I'm okay
Be
with that.
ourselves.
But like, you know, the whole Andrew Tate thing,
Mhm.
whether if he's convicted for human trafficking, he needs to go away. Like,
Yeah.
that's just how it is. But if he's innocent and it's just because he's speaking in a way that most people don't like, then that's not okay. Because to me, like because I've heard a lot of people say, well, we just don't want our young men to watch him and turn into him, which
Yeah.
is fine. If you don't believe in his values, you don't have to believe in his values. But to me, like a father, if I don't want my kids to watch somebody, I don't straight up tell them no. What you do is you need to teach them better habits in the beginning, teach them your mindset. And then when they watch that kind of stuff, then they either just straight up like, oh, I don't believe it, or if they do question it, they just read through it. Like, you got to train your kids, teach your kids to be smarter than that, to just watch a video and all of a sudden
Believe it.
change. So I think that's a stupid reason to like cancel free speech, is like when people are like, oh, we just don't want our young men to look up to him. I'm like, then teach your young men to look up to someone else.
Yeah, that's also
Like, it's
this,
not
this generation
his fault.
nowadays.
Yeah,
They believe anything.
that's true. And
They watch
honestly,
anybody like Andrew Tate, Aiden Ross. If whatever they say,
they'll believe.
they'll believe. They'll do.
Yeah. And I'll say this, though. I think parenting isn't as good as it was, maybe not even our parents' generation, maybe the generation before that. Because back when you had at-home moms that were always home, you always had that figure. Now, a lot of kids grow up without both parents, or they grow up having to go to daycare and all this, which daycare is great. But unless you find a good daycare, your kids are going to learn from your nanny more than they'll learn from you.
Right.
And I also think a lot of parents are lazy. A lot of parents just give their kids tablets, so you're almost inviting them to like, oh, here, look up whatever you want.
Yeah, there's not that much discipline.
No,
Because
And
if they once they cry, they just give them what they want just to
Yeah.
shut them up.
so yeah, I think it's a stupid
strategy.
reason. But what do you guys
Just whoop
think
their
though?
ass.
I've heard a lot of kids right now are just like stuck in their phone, like just looking at their phone. Like, what's your guys' take on that? Do you guys think it's as bad as people say? Do you think it's actually good
And you're talking about screen time.
screen time with adolescents? So let's just say kids. So 16 and younger, let's say. Because I think after 16, you're growing up.
Yeah.
It
So-
depends on what they watch.
I actually
I guess
If,
it does.
if
I
I had a
agree.
kid and they were on the phone all the time, but they're just watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, something like TV, I don't really mind. But if they're watching like this whole thing about, like what we talked about Andrew Tate and him being like the, all this and that, and my kid's just like, oh yeah, I think I can do this. Andrew Tate's just talking about like, for example, if he's talking about like stand up for yourself, don't let anybody tell you different. And then if I'm trying to discipline them, and they try to stand up for themselves, that's gonna get them fucked up.
yeah.
I think that's cool though if they stand up for themselves and they learn
Well, yeah, to
that
a
early on.
Certain extent.
But yeah,
There's a lot of
I do
things
see
I
what you're
actually
saying.
agree with
I'd
what he
still
says.
kick their ass.
Same.
And
I still I'll
keep
still
standing up for
discipline-
yourself, but
I'll still
not to
discipline
me.
my kids the way that we were disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a limit, and so I actually was doing I'm trying to adopt that now, so we're doing the home study, and one of the questions it asks, there's a fancy word for saying, do you believe in physical discipline? And I can't remember the word, but I think there's a limit. I think as long as you're in self-control, I don't believe in using objects,
Mhm.
like a belt. I don't necessarily agree with 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Open hand, and if you're in control, open hand and on the butt. Like, to me, as long as you're under control, you know your limits. Because if I hit my kids as hard as I can, obviously they could you could potentially break a young kid's like bones and stuff if you hit them
Yeah.
as hard as you could. So you just
Yeah.
got to be in control.
This hurts me
Mhm.
more than it hurts you.
And,
Oh, I
and you guys
hate
have
that.
probably seen this, but I've been hit sometimes, and I'm like, "Are you in control, dude? Like, you are really going crazy on me right now."
I
But-
hate that. It hurts me. more
Yeah,
than
I
it hurts
hate
you.
that saying.
Or I did that because I love you.
You know why I did that?
You did that because you had a bad day, dude.
Because you couldn't sell one more sausage egg McMuffin.
No, I don't disagree with physical
Parenting.
parenting
discipline.
discipline, but you need to have a limit. You need to have control
Right,
yep.
because we're way bigger than our kids.
Yeah. What if
Some of
like
us barely.
your kid's like 14 or 15 and then they're as big as you? You going all out?
No. I don't know how you guys were, but honestly, my parents didn't physically discipline me after like age 12, maybe.
Man, you're lucky.
Wow.
When I was like in
Yeah.
7th or 8th grade, I really didn't get like hit as much anymore because my parents raised me to be like an adult. Like I knew how to cook, clean, do my own laundry, all that kind of stuff. So by the time I was like 13, 14, like they kind of let me do whatever I wanted because they were like, if you do this and it sucks, then you have to deal with the consequences. I mean, I got hit, but it was not like as regular as it was as younger.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys feel that though created trauma in you?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
Elaborate on that. And let's take a cup to getting beat as kids.
Cut for trauma. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. I mean, obviously, you can get beat and you can take it whichever way you think mentally, depending on how you are. I got beat a lot, man. I got beat a lot. I would go to school and I'd have to have like stories about why I have bruises
Marks
all over
and
me.
bruises.
Yeah.
And I've talked to Cece a lot about it. She's been my therapist these last few years. We talk about it. We go back and forth about things like that because I thought it was normal growing up.
I thought so, too.
everybody
Yeah, me
did.
too.
No, yeah, 100%.
And I thought everybody was being not treated like that because we had such a great family dynamic. So I don't want to put it out there like I was getting beat and I was in an abusive family. But when
That's just how you were disciplined.
exactly, and I was a stupid kid. Like I don't know if they could have told me no or told me don't do this if I wouldn't have listened unless I got my freaking ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, depending on the kid, like you might need to, and I feel like I was a kid that I needed to, but
So-
definitely I do feel like it was a little traumatic just to, like when I'm with my in-laws or I'm with my wife and we're sharing stories back and forth, and when I'm telling her funny stories that I'm making funny because at the end of that story ends with me getting my ass kicked, and like I do feel like in a way it's traumatic, but you live and you grow, you get stronger. I do spin it like my cousin and I, his name is Rory. We'll have we'll be hanging out and it's getting late, and so we're just talking and we'll just go back and forth with like stories about who got their ass kicked more, who got their ass kicked the worst, and I just think it's typical in a Polynesian household.
Oh
but-
yeah.
Yeah. Been in those conversations. But I don't know. What about you?
Oh,
What about you, Ryan? Do you ever felt like that? Like, so to me, traumatic is more like you act out in a certain way, and then you don't know why. Like, you know logically that didn't make sense, but then you did that because of a traumatic experience before.
I just think anger.
Anger.
That's the only thing I would say that would be a traumatic ripple effect from getting beat.
Or like when I don't. This is me personally. When I get mad, I punch stuff. Like I'll punch my
what a
counter.
loser!
Like I don't know. Like I don't know
No, you
It's
need
because-
special classes for that.
if anger management. I don't know if it's because I got beat. That now when I get mad, I'm just like, frick, and I punch the countertop. I don't ever punch people
Or like the truck or
or the truck. I
Yeah.
punch trucks
Yeah.
or signs. I punched a lot of things.
Signs.
I'm really a happy guy though. Let me just slide that in there real quick. But no, what about you, Ryan? Do you think it's pretty traumatic? Do you think it's hindered your life in any way? Or
So I know I've gotten beat up when I was like a little kid. I just don't remember. I don't remember getting beat up. So
that's
That's a
actually a
traumatic-
coping
yeah.
Maybe-
mechanism. Yeah.
maybe it did me good. I don't know. I think it straightened me up.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Unless like if I were to go back in time and change the fact that I wasn't getting beat up and I'm still the same way, like I would never know. But
Well, yeah, that's a hard argument to do though, because you can compare people who got beat and people who didn't get beat, and I don't know what the statistical difference
Yeah.
is gonna be.
I don't know.
I feel like if you, that's true.
What about you, Rob? You think it's pretty traumatic? Like, do you have traumatic memories of the way you were raised and disciplined?
Oh yeah. Because when I was a kid, I was doing stupid shit.
Facts.
And thank you.
The younger brother chiming in real quick.
This dude spit it.
No, yeah, I'd always do stupid shit to the point where, like, when I got older, if I knew that this shit, if I knew that I was gonna get caught, I wouldn't do it as much. And then I started getting like, after 18,
Stupider.
Oh. Yeah, shut the fuck up. No, but after 18, when everybody, you get tried as an adult. So after 18, I tried not to do as much, just because I know the consequences. If you're after 18, you get tried as an adult, you get locked up, come back out, you get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
But back then, it was just like every little thing whooped. Every little thing. Hey, go give me something so I can hit your brother with. Then I see a
That's
ladder
the
come in.
That is the
Then I see a
worst.
couch come in.
That's the worst when your parents like make you choose the weapon, especially if it's for you. It still sucks, but if it's like, go get this so I can beat your brother, I'm like, oh, cuz. I mean, they're trying to find like the thing that looks like it won't hurt the most. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
my bad, bro. Unless they pissed me off earlier that day, I'm grabbing the biggest stick.
Oh yeah. See, I was
like,
the
oh, you want to
opposite.
steal my computer again?
If they ask me to go get something so that they can beat me, I'm getting like the plastic hanger or like the belt. But if it's for somebody else, like I'm grabbing the hardest belt.
What
I'm
the
grabbing-
hell?
You're the
metal
ruler.
What the fuck?
I'm getting the belt that's bejeweled. It's bedazzled.
No, yeah. I saw my dad come out
grab a-
with one of those belts one time, and I was like, Oh yeah.
First
You might
off,
as well
whose
just-
belt is that?
Yeah, I should
just
have
a suck
Never
up
seen you
belt.
wear that.
just to see how many more times I could get hit for that one. What a stupid question. But no, kind of going back to what you were saying about just forgetting it. Do you find you do that with a lot of things in your life, or is it mostly just that?
No, I think I'm just stupid, dude. I
not
think things just
You're
Facts.
beat dumb.
You just got slapped on the head
Yeah.
too many times.
But you're right. That is
Dropped.
it is a coping mechanism. So your brain it'll push out all of those traumatic memories and experiences, so you
Yeah.
can't remember them.
Because so kind of like with you and Cece, me and Lexi, my wife, have done kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like I can't think about it until we're in the moment, and she keeps like hitting me with questions, and I'm like, okay, this,
Just because
and I'm
they-
like, oh, I like totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
But I've noticed it in more of my life than just that.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned to deal with all like negative things that have happened to me in my life, like fights that I've had with my wife, or I don't know, like getting mad at a job or like stuff like that. For some reason, I don't know if it's like my coping mechanism, but I just literally forget all of it.
Yeah.
But do you ever feel like it like hinders you in any way, or do you feel like you just simply forget it and you're just good?
I honestly thought I was just really good at not holding on to stuff. I didn't know I was just coping with like.
Well, no, I'm the same way. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
I thought I was. I don't know. Is that healthy? Is it healthy to do that?
So what I've read is that it's healthy as long as it doesn't pop up in
Affect
your
you,
life
yup.
in different areas, such
Huh.
as if you were yelled at as a kid. Now that you have a girlfriend, if you yell at her, then that's why it's bad, because you pushed
Oh,
it
I
down
see.
so deep, and then it's still kind of
How
coming
deep?
up.
Hmm?
So, like really deep, like woolly deep. But thank you for that. But no, so I think if it doesn't keep coming back up, I think you're good. What's your opinion on that? Like,
I always think it's unhealthy, or it is healthy to
Mhm.
uncover
Oh.
anything like that. Yeah.
so
with
even
therapy.
To uncover,
if you forget about it,
Yeah.
even if you forget about it, Huh.
Because you can overcome it. Because even if you don't think that it ties together with anything that you're doing now, you can be like, for me, I was really angry. I always wanted to. That's the only thing that I can express was anger. I'd like to fight. But getting past that was understanding why I was like that, and why I was like that was because I wasn't fully over or accepting of my dad passing. So stuff like that. But if you don't notice it, like say you're quick to be mad,
Yeah.
you're short fused and hot tempered, it could be because of something that you don't remember, which is why you would go to a therapist and you would uncover some of those memories. That way you can deal with them, and then you can be more at peace with yourself. So I always think that if you don't remember something that's traumatic, it's pretty worth it.
So what about like in his case? Like I'm not saying you're like this, but let's say in Ryan's case, he isn't.
fucked up case.
Let's say none of those. Like he doesn't feel any of his characteristics are of something that he's forgot. So let's say a traumatic experience he had when he was a kid. He's now an adult. He totally forgot about it, and he doesn't. There's nothing in his life that really is like showing that, or like showing that he has trauma of that situation, like being angry or yelling or hitting or whatever. If he's not doing any of that and that traumatic experience is back there, do you think you still need to unbury it?
No,
Go
Wait, go ahead,
Rob.
Rob.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. Because if you had like if there's a certain event that you're traumatized with, and you've pushed it away for so long to the point where you don't even care, and you don't even get mad about what happened, I don't think that would.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be unhealthy.
So what do you think about it, Gage? Like, if it's not showing any factors now, do you think you should rebury up or whatever?
Unbury.
Unbury those traumatic experiences?
I guess that's really just depending on the person. To
Mhm.
me, and you said it before, so like if you've already forgotten about traumatic experiences that you've had as a kid, that you have had as a kid, how do you know that you're not reflecting them now as an adult? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it doesn't have to be so negative or so noticeable that it's like arguing all the time, yelling, getting super mad, drinking, being an alcoholic. It could be little things about you that it stems from this traumatic experience. And so I do think that it's definitely worth looking into and unburying, because you can become peace. And I mean, people say you can always work on yourself, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
You can always
Right.
improve. There's always room for improvement. So I do think that that is a step to take, that if you want to improve and you want to be a better person, to be a better you, that it takes some deep digging.
Yeah.
And just like what you said, it depends on the person. I agree with that 100%
Mhm.
because, I mean, all in all, I think you should unbury it while it happened, so that you don't have to put it away. Because I think that putting it away is unhealthy. But if you just go on through life and then you just forget about that, I mean, I don't see why it's a bad thing.
Yeah. If it's not affecting you now,
Right.
yeah, I think the opposite. I think if it's not affecting you, why unbury it? Because like if you unbury it, who's to say that it's gonna, it might start affecting you once
that's
you
why
start.
it ties
You're
remembering
into
definitely
it.
depends on
opening
who
up
it
a
is.
can of worms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's a lot of other things that you're not ready to address.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I'll echo kind of what Gage said. I think self-development or self-improvement, like if you want to get better at something, let's say you notice that you're getting angry, so you want to fix that.
Yeah.
In order to fix that, you're gonna have to dig deep. But if you don't see yourself as bad because you're not, like, because you're getting angry, you don't think it's a big deal, then
Mhm.
I think that's when people don't care to dig it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I've noticed a lot when you try to develop yourself and try to better yourself, that's when you're gonna figure out, like, oh,
You're right.
I need to do some digging into my past. So kind of like you said though, but if you don't care to fix some of those traits that you may not even notice, and again, they don't all have to be like super negative.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of them
Right.
can be little, like, I don't like to talk to people. I like to
Mhm.
be
Yeah.
like excluded from groups because I don't want to be center of attention, and that's not always bad. But maybe the reason you're not reaching out to people is because when you were younger, your dad hit you because when you talk too much, you just be like, shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like, because you don't like the being the center of attention.
Yeah.
You don't
I
like
hate
birthdays. You don't like anything like that.
Mhm.
Sometimes when I was growing up, my dad would say like, Shh, "You're doing the most," like, because
chill
I
out.
right.
Yeah.
And so that could be
Something to unbury.
Right. Exactly.
But it's not always negative to not want the center of attention.
No.
It's only negative when, like, you're competing at a high level and you are the center of attention. And so if it hinders you to be the center of attention, then you need to fix it.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
like you said, if
I
it's
agree.
not hurting your life, why unbury it?
Right.
Yeah.
Here's another question though. Do you feel that some kids nowadays, I think it's more prevalent now than before, are labeling some of their, like, they're just making excuses for the way they act because of traumatic experiences?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what do you think is wrong with that or good about that? What is your guys' opinion on it?
That's tough.
It is.
Let's take a cup so we can relax a little bit and be honest with ourselves. But no, I think
Yeah.
that's a deep question, and I think a lot of kids need to look themselves in the mirror.
What you got, Ryan? You
I
look
gotta-
like
I
you
gotta-
had something to say.
I gotta think of how to word it.
All right, Rob. What you got
I don't think there's anything good about it.
about?
About
Making excuse, using traumatic experiences
as an excuse. Because I've worked with, and this like ties into like my previous jobs. I just constantly hear it. I work with adolescent kids. I work with like troubled kids, and I constantly hear it all the time. And we would always think that just because they're going through, I mean, yeah, I understand you know, some people go through certain things, but I don't think that's a reason why you should act up. I don't think that's a reason why you should, do all this stuff. Does that make sense?
I agree with you 100%. I think the other two are drinking, but I think using something as a crutch or as an excuse is never good.
Yeah.
And so when you have a traumatic experience holding you back from something you want to complete or you want to achieve, you have to dig it out,
Mhm.
fix it, and move on. another part of that question though too, do you think kids make up traumatic experiences in their head in order to make up an excuse? Like it almost goes deeper. Like, do you think some kids completely make up traumatic experiences?
Oh yeah.
Or make something that wasn't so bad make it worse?
Like
in their mind?
exaggerate it?
Yeah, exaggerate.
Mhm.
What do you
I
think,
mean,
Ryan?
I've definitely done that a couple times myself. So I wouldn't put it past other people to do it. To exaggerate what happened. You know, I don't.
Yeah. I think it's pretty natural. I mean, even when you tell a story, you always kind of want to seem like cooler, so you make
Yeah.
the story seem cooler than it actually was.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gage? Do you think kids use them as excuses and you think it's okay? Do you think some kids exaggerate the truth, or what's your opinion?
It's tough for me, man. Because so I do think that nowadays anxiety and depression, and there's a lot of things that are more known and kids are saying that they have more of.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's because of us as a generation becoming more aware of these things. Because our parents, and I'm just speaking for me, I don't know about you guys, I don't even know if it's a Polynesian thing, but like no education about anxiety or depression or feelings or emotion. So I do think that with our generation becoming parents and learning certain things, that we're teaching our kids just a little to be a little bit more aware.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's a positive and a negative to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that there are a group of people that take advantage of that, and they say that they have anxiety and they are depressed all the time, and it just is becoming a little bit more normal. But it's tough to say that, like, is it a bad thing
Yeah.
for me?
Mm-hmm.
No, and I actually would really like to dive in on mental illnesses that way, maybe on like the next podcast or something, because we're running out of time. So for you viewers who are listening, I mean, that might be something we talk about later. But I think traumatic experiences, I think a lot of people use them too intense. Like
They use it.
they use it
It
as an
almost like-
excuse, and
Yeah, it almost like they use it for attention,
I've seen that too.
I've seen
Yeah.
I've seen people do that.
and I don't know how you guys feel, but I hate that.
It depends
mean,
on what they use.
I feel for what they went through. I feel for
Mhm.
the things that they did or that they had to do, but if you're constantly bringing it up,
I agree with
that's
you.
just like, hey guys, like look at me.
It's
you know,
almost
I've-
fishing. Like
yeah,
you're fishing for.
I've been through this and this and this just to get the reaction of, oh, I'm so sorry. And it's kind of like pitting themselves.
I hate that. Like doing that to myself.
Right.
You know, like I hate getting the attention of they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like you're having it rough. I hate that. Like
Mhm.
it's so annoying. I don't know why people would do that. to
That's
get
like
that.
that's like the girl who wore like her hospital bracelet to school.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
what happened? Oh, I don't want to talk about it. She had it on for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
It's
I've not seen that.
It's just
That's funny.
there are attention grabbers. And there
Yeah.
are people.
Attention
But there's a
seekers.
they'll do that with anything though. I think this is just something that receives a lot of attention in of itself, and they'll do it. And I think they'll do it with anything. But I do think that our generation did really well with exposure
Mm-hmm.
to certain mental instabilities, and exposure breeds acceptance. There's
I
Yeah.
agree.
and there's going to be obviously one and the other. One's going to be we are accepting to those who really have anxiety, and we're understanding the introverts, and we're understanding to people who are depressed, and seasonal depression's a thing.
yep.
But there's also going to be the other side of people who are taking advantage of that because they know that it does get attention.
Yeah.
So
Because-
it's hard to say.
Because in my previous jobs, when I would come into work, just kids just acting up and said, "Oh yeah, this is my year date," which I mean I understand. This is my year date of this, and this, and then they just keep going. But the one type of people that I always look out for is the quiet ones. Because to me, it was always the quiet ones that did something. Does that make sense?
Well, I think the quiet ones too, like when they don't talk to anybody, when they
Mhm.
when they're alone, like truly alone like that, they get some really like negative thoughts in their mind about their traumatic experiences.
Sometimes. Have you ever got moted by a quiet kid or
What?
bro? Like, so my parents raised me like, be nice to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm pretty big. I'm one of the biggest in my grade. So like, be nice to the smaller kids. Stick up for the kids who don't have a voice. I remember one time we were in elementary school, dude, and this kid was sitting by himself, and I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna go ahead and do what my parents taught me. I went and sat down. I was like, what's up, man? How you doing? And he looked at me and he was like, I don't want to sit by you, and took his stuff and moved on. I was like, that's why you have no freaking friends.
But no, I think
I've never had that happen.
Oh my goodness.
especially where you used to work at like a kids facility, those quiet kids are usually the ones that are struggling the most internally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That kid just hated you. He just
Probably.
said,
Yeah,
"Oh,
he definitely.
he said you're just not his type." He's like, "Oh, this guy's ugly. I'm gonna go sit by some."
I don't even
That
like
kid was
myself.
Oh, no, right. I can't say that.
Oh, nice. But no, I think I don't know. To me, those quiet kids, especially the ones who have actually gone through some stuff, they have some internal problems. Because I think the ones who are really outspoken to like the public about their traumatic experiences, it just doesn't feel right to me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like all of us have had them. I think it's good to share your traumatic experiences so that other people, like you said, like shed a light on it. But to me, people who like do it as like, oh, look at me, like I don't agree with that either.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Now, if you're like teaching other people to how to deal with their traumatic experiences by sharing some of yours, I think that's good. One, I don't think that's the best way to teach people is to be like, oh, I did it, so you can do it. Like, I don't agree with that 100%, but it is what it is. If you're doing it to not point the light at you, but to help others, I don't think it's negative. But if you're just doing it to like, oh, I'm the coolest.
I'm
Look
a
at this.
beast.
Yeah, I think that's totally bullshit. But no. What else you guys want to talk about? Traumatic experiences or
Do you guys believe in therapy? Would you guys do therapy?
I want to do therapy.
I try
Me
it.
too.
I
Yeah.
tried.
How about you, Phil?
I would not unless I'm in a really bad spot. One, I think your spouse is supposed to be your therapist. I think the person you choose to spend the rest of your life with is supposed to be your therapist. Now, what that means is you both have to study how to be a therapist first, because it's not easy,
Yeah.
especially the way we were raised. Like it's
Yeah.
like, Dad, I'm sad. Slap on the back of the head. Put a smile on your face. Like,
How you feeling
be
now?
happy. Like I'm just like, oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
So I think
I'm
it
the
takes.
happiest kid.
I think your spouse is supposed to be your therapist. Now, if you and your spouse are not committed to doing that for each other, then yes, therapy is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But just like anything, there's good basketball players and crappy basketball players. There's going to be good therapists and bad therapists.
Yeah.
You definitely got to treat it like an audition.
Mhm.
You have to do your research.
Mm-hmm.
So what? I don't know. To me, the best therapist is the one that will let you talk. You have to talk during therapy, which is what your spouse is supposed to do. But then they're also supposed to say, okay, you're wrong. Fix it. Like, fix this.
Mm-hmm.
I think therapists who just let you sit there and talk and then give you medication and then let you talk and give you more medication, those are the worst kinds because they know they have a reoccurring customer.
Yeah.
I think the best therapists are the ones who try to get you out. The ones who listen to you and then tell you, okay, you need to fix some stuff.
Mhm.
Like, stop blaming other people. And it's going to be hard for the person hearing it who needs therapy. But if a person can hear that stuff from a therapist, it'll help them more because that therapist knows them. That's my opinion.
Hmm.
What's your opinion on it?
Doing therapy?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
would you want to do it?
Oh, 100%. I would love to do therapy. I think that I should do therapy. Just because, like I said, I'm always trying to improve and be a better me for my friends, my surroundings, my wife especially.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in order to do that, I do need to uncover some things and deal with them head on rather than bury it deep down and then just leave that thing bottled up. So I do think that therapy is great. And I want to touch on what you said, actually. So you said that you think that your wife should be or your spouse should be your therapist. I disagree.
Really?
100%. 100%.
What? Why? What's your opinion
I think, so my opinion is, I think that you should definitely have that confidence in your spouse,
on it? Mm-hmm.
and you should be able to tell them whatever you need to tell them, and you should be able to receive some support and emotional help from them. but at some point, it's just, I think it develops some codependency that could be unhealthy, and where you guys are leaning on each other too much as far as trying to figure each other's problems out. I think, and I read this.
But sorry to cut you off, but when you use a therapist, you're kind of becoming codependent on them as well, correct?
Right. But so what I was going to say is a therapist would help you be your better self. And so what I read was you should be or try to be your best self. Your wife should try to be her best self when you guys come to the team to be the best team you can be. But it's hard to do that when I'm working through my problems. So Cece's trying to help me through my problems, and she's doing the same thing. So I'm trying to help her. We're not really going head up to our own problems.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm not saying like don't tell your wife anything or don't tell your spouse anything, because I do think that you should have that level of communication and you should be open and talk to them about stuff that has bothered you in your past.
Mm-hmm.
But therapist's job, I don't think should be your spouse's job.
So, and I don't want to feel. This is what I love about Kava is we can talk about this stuff, have different opinions, and still be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So to combat a little bit of that, I don't disagree with you. I think if you use a therapist, I think it's great. But to me, what I've done is I've done a lot of research on that kind of stuff and been able to help my wife. So your therapist, for example, you said you don't want to, for you and your wife, you don't want to fix yourself plus try to fix them. Your therapist is still going to try to fix you. And if they're a good therapist, they're still trying to fix themselves as well. So.
Right. But I think that's a little separate.
It is a little separate, but my personal life involves me trying to fix me.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that is going to be trying to help my wife. Again, though, I would argue a little bit too, though. I don't think everyone has the capacity to do it. I don't think every person can be a therapist because it's tough. Could you imagine going in and hearing some of these horrendous stories and then have to just walk out with a smile on your face and act like nothing happened or like that kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I had those kind of stories or my wife had those kind of stories, I don't think we could fix each other. But we don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
You bring up a good point. So it could depend on the severity level of what you're trying to fix.
Yeah.
It could require professional help. But, I mean, there's a reason why a therapist is getting paid to see hundreds of clients. And the reason why I'm not a therapist is because I didn't go to school for it. I don't have that degree. I can do as much research as I want, but it may not be as effective, or I may not execute the exercises as properly as someone who's trained. But I do agree with you. I think it depends on the couple, and it depends on the severity level of their issues.
Yeah, I think that's good. What about you,
Yeah.
Ryan? What do you think?
To certain content.
Me and you were like, not polar opposite, but that's pretty cool.
Talking about
I need
having
therapy for that.
your significant other as your therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what Gage said. I don't want, at least me, I don't want to throw all my problems at my girlfriend and we both try to deal with my problems and she's throwing all her problems. It's just a lot to worry about. So I'd rather have a therapist. I can unload healthily to them, and they can help me. And in a ways, we can both, me and my girlfriend could both be 100% coming together as a team. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I agree with you.
I think as a spouse, you're gonna naturally be a little bit of a therapist.
Yeah.
When like
I agree.
little things with like work, they're like, "Oh, I had a bad day."
Yeah.
But no, I think like you guys are saying, I think if it's a really serious matter, you need to get professional help, just like anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like my wife can pop my back. Well, not really, but I can have someone pop my back. But if there's a serious problem, I'm going to the chiropractor.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
So, no, that's a good point, though. I actually appreciate that view.
Robert, you said you've been to therapy once?
No, I want to try it.
Oh, okay.
Has
Well, I
anyone
mean-
been to therapy?
No, I know of people who have.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Do you think you should just go to therapy, or do you think you need a reason to go?
I know a lot of people that have regular
Yeah.
appointments and they
Yeah,
go to
therapy just to go
therapy
to therapy.
constantly,
Mhm.
but I don't know if I necessarily would. But I guess that's like a precautionary measure that they're taking, you know?
Like they
Like
have
that
someone in their
step.
back pocket? or
Kind of.
something?
It's just like I'll continuously work on something rather than have something happen and then try to work on it from there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if I would personally go constantly and regularly, but I know a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
I
No
think that'd be a
handful.
good thing for us to research a little bit because I don't understand it. I don't understand why I would go talk to a therapist once a week, once every month, whatever, when I don't have a problem versus just talking to my wife every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Everyone's different though because I'm not knocking it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I guess
Is
it
all.
goes back to the unbearing things that you forgot. Like, you
Yeah.
could go to a therapist thinking like, "Oh yeah,
Like you're
I'm
just
I'm
talking
fine.
about, yeah, you're
this
just
is
talking
just
about
preventative
whatever.
maintenance," and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you're like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
I guess yeah, but going back a little bit further, I feel like the only way you're gonna need to dig those things up, personally, this is my thought, is if you're trying to better yourself and there's something holding you back, then that'd be a good thing for a therapist to step in and, okay, why can't you do this? Let's dig. Let's go a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I've just never sat in on a therapist talk and when it's just a casual check in and see what they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I think that was a good one.
Yeah.
I like what we talked about. I like how we transitioned from cars to trauma to therapy.
That's that free talk.
Crazy,
man.
bro.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking
The
about.
range with free talk
But
link
no,
it.
is crazy.
We covered resolutions, cars,
yeah.
NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Literally
that's that
everything.
free talk.
So yeah, I think for all of our viewers, I think just stay tuned. I mean, we're gonna have a lot to come. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's only our second episode. I felt like
Yeah.
we're already learning a lot about each other and growing, and hopefully they're learning with us. And so yeah, let's take a cup, say
Let's do it.
goodbye, get ready for the next one.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in and watching an episode of Muddy Roots Podcast. We are your hosts. We'll see you guys again next week.